the glory. The long-awaited day has finally arrived. In the next few minutes, we will be launching ourselves into 44th Annual International Convention of the Apostolic Church Nigeria. It's unprecedented because it is virtual. My name is Samuel Murdis. I want to welcome you to the opening session of this convention. Yes, the first of its kind. Yes, you're seeing us in a new form, in a new format. Yes, God is good, God is glorious, God is faithful. I'm not here alone in the studio. I have the big men, the men who have been called, but I heed the call. Good day.
Oh man, it's a good day. That got me. The introduction got me. Like the men that have been called, but I'm not heeded the call. Thank God that we are among
called by who?
No, I know we are called by God, but the good thing is that we are among. We are happy that we are among the call. Yes. You know, not everybody is being that has the opportunity to have this platform.
So even the Bible says many are called,
but few are chosen. For us to be among the few.
So let's believe that we are the chosen.
Yes, we are among the few.
Wow, this is the 44th Lawna Annual International Convention. Yes, we are here for the studio opening session. We are going to be preparing your mind for this convention. We know a lot of you are looking at it. This convention is not as it used to be. But I tell you, it is not going to be lesser in the flow of the power of God than it has always been. I tell you, it is going to be greater. Your expectation greater than ever before. This is unprecedented. So we are here to open the studios for you. Prepare your heart for this convention. It is going to be glorious. So let me just say, I feel so generous this day. I feel so generous. I know a lot of people have been praying. We've had the pre-convention revival, and a lot of people have been trusting God for a lot of things. And before we talk about the theme of this year's convention, I know we're supposed to have a brief recap of last year's convention. Some of the things we'll be discussing will be a brief recap of last year's convention, the events that unfolded, and we're also going to talk about the first year service, which the Apostolic Church is known to always gather and look unto God. On every first day of the year, we always trust God for prophetical messages, which will unveil a lot of things that in the course of the year. But before we tell you the theme of this year's convention, I want to say, as I said, I feel so generous. I want those of you that are watching us, yes, you're watching us from all the social media platforms, we want you to show your solidarity with us, and we want you to show that you're... So if you can tell us the last three convention themes, that is, you'll be telling us the theme of 2000 You're telling us the theme of 2018 and 2017. And get these three themes and send it to us. The first person to send that as a comment to any of our social media platforms, especially on Facebook or wherever, we're going to give you something great. So just to make you feel that God has started answering your prayers. Yes. So without mentioning the theme of last year's convention, so let us just this is the 44th. How was the 43rd Lawna International Convention?
Okay, for the viewers at home, Maadisa has introduced himself. For those of you who are seeing me for the first time, my name is Jeff Tapakuye, and they call me the short black dude. But on this platform, they just call me Jeff Ta. Talking about the last year's convention, it was the 43rd annual convention, and it was glorious, it was powerful. We felt the glory of God from all sides, personally, in our finances, in our spiritual lives, in our spiritual life. Looking at it, it's a bit different, a lot different from this year's own, because that was a physical congregation of saints being. It was not like this, but it doesn't mean this year is going to be less impactful or less glorious. But last year was something we looked forward to. People were blessed. Personally, I was blessed from last year's convention. It had a wonderful theme that we have given you the opportunity to call in, to text and tell us what the theme is for you to win something. So we are not going to be telling you the theme now, but on the whole overall of it, it was a wonderful convention that a lot of people were blessed from. I'm a testimony. I told God last year in the convention that I want something, and God has done it.
Wow.
The manifestation rather of that is okay. And before the convention, I will share my testimony because God has done it. If you know, you know.
You know.
All right. Okay. Over to you, friend.
All right. Good afternoon, viewers. Where you are watching from, don't be shocked. Don't be surprised that you are seeing me in jacket for the first time. So I just want to be serious. You know, for these 7 days, I want to be serious. So my name is Franco Lukadejo, aka you know, they call me the evangelist of comedy, anointed with palm oil. But I'm not on now. You know, this is a different level. So talking about last year, I was on the field. You know, we were taking Vox Pop and all that. But from the testimony that I had from people, my friends, like, you know, I have a guy now, like, he said that he asked God for like 5 things and don't fall.
Wow.
You understand? And I also have my own testimony, just like Jeff. So last year, you know, was massive, was great. You know, we felt the manifestation of God, and this year is not going to be an exception.
Yes.
All right, this year is not going to be an exception. When you mention the year 2020, a lot of people will shiver.
Very, very eventful. It's very
The year
eventful.
2020 has been so eventful. Let us make this note that people already know the Apostolic Church. We're known to, this is the 44th Annual International Convention, and the conventions usually come up every August, the first week August. But here, today is the 26th of October. We're having the convention here at this time. It is unprecedented. We were expecting it to come up in August, but 2020 so far. How has it been to all of us? Everybody has a story to tell. Everybody has some moment of fear.
You should call this year with respect, please.
Okay, you know, 2020, the joy we have is that as children of the Apostolic Church, God is faithful, and thank God for the first day of the year service every year. So that service prepared us through the prophecies we had, prepared us for events that are to happen this year. So when they started happening, a lot of the apostolic member was to what happening from COVID-19 to that, to the protests, and you know that God is so faithful, because that motto of the year is something that led us to the year, making us to have that confidence that in the midst of it all, we are more than conquerors, because God has told us that we
2020 to you, Frank.
That was why I said, you know, if you are calling 2020, you should call 2020 with, you know, due respect. Call it with, you know, the year is full of ups and downs, you know, but against all odds, we have to give God the glory, because he said in everything that we should be thankful, you know. So we just thank God, and, you know, following what Jeff just said about, you know, January 1st prophecy, you know, God said we should fear not, because he knew that there are a lot of things that is going to happen this year.
make us
You know, that will make us what he said, fear not. You understand? So, and you know, all this thing that is happening now is enough, you know, for us to be scared. But thank God we are here.
Yes.
Beyond the fears, a lot of plans truncated, and some people had to start picking the shambles and the pieces of their lives to rebuild in the year 2020, which is one of the things that affected the convention to be moved from August to now in October. And some people are trying to still adjust to the realities of that thing. But nevertheless, God, who is faithful, to perfect what he has started. I still want us to talk about the 2020 in terms of the COVID-19, how God has helped us through the COVID-19. We were trying to recover from the COVID-19, and we saw the authorities of the church suddenly, almost at the nick of the convention, another
COVID-20.
another unrest started again, which I
Yes.
know that the fathers will be like, what is going on? But God who has been faithful. And that's made me remember something. Sometimes we take some things for granted. I told some people that during preparations for conventions, there has always been prayer and fasting for peace and everything. And many times we take those prayers for granted. Some people don't even pray, they don't fast as for preparation for it. And so some of the prayer items is that anything that will make the convention to be cancelled should not happen. In the convention, there shouldn't be unrest in the city of Lagos and all over the country, Nigeria. But suddenly, another tragedy, when I call it tragedy, unrest, let me just put it as unrest, happened in the city of Lagos and all over the country, which we're still trying to pick the pieces. We can't say the nation has gotten 100% rest. So this past week, as it is ushering us into this convention that we started, how will you narrate the experience that you had in the past week, the lockdown, the second, it wasn't the second wave of coronavirus, but it was the second wave of lockdown.
Yeah, like you said, it's an unrest. So it's something that came at a time we never expected it.
Yeah.
Something came at a time we never expected it because we were gathering ourselves from the COVID-19, and unfortunately this unrest, the protest that started peacefully, ended up in a bigger way that we never expected because as Nigerians, sorry to say, so a lot of people, a lot of hoodlums hijacked that because they wanted to tell their grievances. But when the unrest started, I was a bit afraid maybe this convention might not go ahead because for a week it was no movement, there was curfew, a lot of preparations we had backstage because there was I told myself at the tail end that we have to believe what God has said. And if God has said it, is faithful enough to make it and to bring it to pass. So when God, he referred me back to the first day of the year service again, the prophecies. And I know that with God and God have said it is going, but that this convention, as the fathers have prayed over it and they have been led to make this a reality, to fix this date, I know that it's going to be a reality. Although it was a surprise, that 1 week was something that we I really describe it because I know Frank too, we were together for a while. Yeah, we could not move, we could not go to our houses, we could not go to his wife, and like that. But we thank God that we are here and things are getting better.
All right, a lot of things has been happening as we've been saying, but there are some that we wouldn't rather write everything off to be bad.
Yeah.
Of a truth, we know the Apostolic Church. Many people will know that the Apostolic Church has a TV station, which is GVTV. And we have not been so active as a church when it comes to virtual services. And in the midst of the lockdown of the COVID-19, we were forced to come for virtual service, which ultimately now we are having the first virtual convention, which is actually the 44th of its normal convention, but the first of it virtually, completely virtually. So this new development, how can you relate with it as it relates to the church, virtual services, virtual meetings, now virtual convention?
Well, just it's a great development. You know, when we were preparing for this convention, you know, we had 2 weeks prayers.
Yeah.
Fasting, I mean, one without fasting, and then one with fasting. But there's one item of prayer in that prayer point that God should make this year first of its kind. So in my mind, this year is already, God has already answered that. So it's a great development. I know many people are not used to it. Like even generally, the Apostolic Church, we are not used to, you know, virtual meetings, virtual convention. But the lockdown, this COVID-19, it has brought about, you know, new development in the church, and it's a great one.
Sam, I want to use this opportunity to actually commend the fathers in the vision of the Apostolic Church. They have done so well. A lot of people have different notion about the vision, that we are not a progressive.
Theme of this year's 44th Annual International Convention, which is done completely virtually, is filling the nations with the doctrine of Christ. Filling the nations with the doctrine of Christ. And it is taken from the book of Acts, chapter 5, verse 28. This convention shall span from now, the 26th of October, to the 1st of November 2020. We believe it is going to be glorious, and God's power will be unleashed onto anyone from wherever you're watching us. So, Jeff, what should people expect in a convention like this, looking at this theme?
Okay, for people who are not members of the Apostolic Church, is something that they will be looking forward to. To members of the Apostolic Church, like the theme says, filling the nations with the doctrine of Christ. If you're a member of the Apostolic Church, you know that the church has some doctrines that have been shared into the tenets, the rules of belief, and the rules of conduct. But this convocation or this convention, we are putting the fathers are led by the Spirit of God to put all that in one point, in one place, to tell us what the doctrine of Christ really is. So for you out there, what you should expect. Personally, I'm expecting, and we are expecting that God, through the fathers, is going to enlighten us and teach us what really is the doctrine of Christ for you as a human being. Not diluted doctrine, not doctrine that have been added or diluted, but doctrines that are from Christ himself.
All right, because of time and the preparations for this first of its kind, the virtual convention of the Apostolic Church Nigeria, we have to go right now. But before that, I will let you know that wherever you are, wherever you're watching, watch as if you are in the auditorium.
Yes.
Watch as if the ministers are right in front of you, because the power of God knows no bounds. Nothing is holding it. No barrier is standing in between the power of God and you. God is there where you are. As long as you are logged into us, you can just drop a comment. Whenever you watch, drop your comments, drop prayer points. This will be communicated, and we believe that God is going to touch you. The concept and background of the theme. You're going to be listening to Pastor Dr. I.G. Fakule, who is the Elisha area superintendent, breaking down this concept and background of this team. What should you know about it? This and many more you will get from this. We're going right now. By the close of this program, we're coming back to give you a wrap-up of everything that has happened. I want to appreciate you guys. All set to be blessed by the power and the presence of God. God bless you, and stay tuned to GVTV, because it has only just